This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with the one, the only, Brandon Swanson.
Hey.
And we are back. We haven't done this in a while. We haven't talked baseball, mainly because Cubs and Sox-wise, we've got the Outcasts now. They can hold down the fort for the Cubs and the Sox.
They're doing well holding down the fort. They are doing a really good job.
Buzzweed and Juice Man holding down the fort for the White Sox and the Cubs. But, Brandon, we're back doing a baseball segment. We want to make our predictions, and we want to give the season starts this Thursday.
So excited because you know what that means?
Baseball's back.
Baseball is back, but it also means that good weather has got to be on the way. Please, Jesus.
You want to know something funny? Well, it was funny for me, not for Johnny. Johnny sent me a snap today.
Okay.
Guess what he found in his room? It was the first one he's found of the spring. A wasp.
That's
Found
awful.
his first wasp of the season.
I don't think you're supposed to find those in your room.
Yes, it was in like his right by the window, so it like got in through the window.
That's awful.
That is very awful.
That's terrible.
I don't want to see those this year. I was hoping that they would just all die and never come back.
No.
That they would just never, like bees. I like bees. They do good things for us, but wasps, they're just assholes.
I mean, you can still be stung by a bee as well.
Yeah, but they at least pollinate flowers and stuff, or wasps, they're just assholes.
But I could see you get stung by a bee, you would hyperventilate, you'd probably pass out, and then once you got up from the emergency room trip that you had, you would say you didn't want bees either.
Funny story really quick before we get into everything. My dad, when we were as a kid, he was in his pickup truck driving, and he felt on his back like something just prick. And he's like, what is in my back? And he reached back, grabbed it, a bee. A bee was just sitting there on his back, continuing to sting him because he had sat back and was crushing the bee. So it just continually stung him.
That's weird, though, because when a bee stings, I thought they died.
Well, if they lose the stinger. Sometimes they don't, and it's supposed to come out. This one wasn't stinging very hard. It was just the tip of it. It was just like a, hey, get off me. Get off me. But I know what you guys are thinking. Stop talking about bees and give us your predictions for the MLB. Brandon, we're going to start in the AL. How about we just let you go with your AL, then we'll do my AL before moving on. Take us through your AL division and wild card predictions. Who's going to win the divisions? Who's going to be the wild cards for the American League?
Sure. Well, for the American League, I'll switch it up a little bit. I'll start with the West.
Yeah, no one gives the West enough love. It's always the East.
I'll start with the West. And
no matter what, we're always in the middle. We're the Central.
I will go with the Houston, as they say. A lot of people say Houston without the H. It very much annoys me.
The defending champions.
I've got to go with the Houston Astros. They
defending World Series champs.
They're returning so much. They still have that firepower. Their pitching staff is still phenomenal.
Didn't Altuve just sign an extension too?
Just a 5-year, 100-some million. I mean,
change.
Just like I would like to be Jose Altuve. I wouldn't. Hey, if I'm getting paid that much money, I don't mind being fined too. So the Astros, I think that they win that division with much ease.
You're not buying the Ohtani hype in LA.
No, one guy can't do it. But
he's playing every day. He's going to be a pitcher one day, and then he's going to be a DH the rest, Brandon.
I'm very skeptical. I'm very skeptical. But so the Houston Astros, I think, win the West with ease. Coming to the Central, there's been with the Central, the Tigers are in a rebuild.
A rebuild or a retool, or is that just a Sox thing?
The White Sox use retool when we don't want to lose all of our fans. It's a retool, guys. We're retooling. We're not building. We're not stripping it all down. But
it's guaranteed we're retooling.
That was under Kenny Williams.
Yes,
he wasn't as transparent. Rick Hahn comes in and goes, "We suck. We are doing a rebuild. We're doing a rebuild." But the Tigers are in a rebuild. The Kansas City Royals are very much in a rebuild.
They're entering theirs.
And the Chicago White Sox, they're still some years off, I think. They're going to be better. I think the young talent is going to be better. It's going to be great because we're going to be having a lot of the young talent from the beginning of the season. We're going to have Yoan Moncada to start off with. They're also going to have Ronaldo Lopez. They're going to have Lucas Giolito in the starting rotation. We're going to see some good things from the White Sox, but they're just not quite there.
They're not going to get anything. Not even a wild card, not even division. Don't even think about them, right? That's what you're saying?
No, they're not, because you got to be realistic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who's
I'm real excited for yours.
Who's winning the Central?
Cleveland. Cleveland's going to come back. Mm-hmm. They're good. They're still loaded. I think that again with Minnesota too. I just don't think that they're going to have enough to be able to topple Cleveland. And then in the East, Boston.
Really?
That's going to be a very competitive division, as it always is, especially with the Yankees in Boston. Big spenders, two huge spenders in the offseason. And it's going to be really fun to watch those two teams battle up there at the top, as I assume that they will both be. I'm excited to see how Boston will be this season without injuries. Hopefully they don't have those injuries like they did last season, and then see if they get back to the postseason, which I predict they very much will, how they can play, especially with some of their new additions, especially if they are injury-free. And then my wild cards, the Yankees and Baltimore.
Really? So you don't even have the Twins in your wild card?
No.
Wow. So you think the Baltimore Orioles are going to make an uptick this year and be...
I do.
So the Yankees are going to be the home team in that wild card, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a shocker.
I know.
Orioles going from last in the division to wild card this year.
I know.
Wow.
But you know what? That's just I think how some teams can make the jump. I feel like there could be something there for Baltimore this year.
So we'll go through mine now. I'll do the same as you. I'll start in the West. Houston, the Astros.
Yeah,
There's
easy.
no competition for them in that division. Maybe the Mariners, maybe the Angels. Probably not. They'll win by 21 games again. Then you go to the Central. I think the Indians win the division. This could be like, if this is the make or break year for them to win the series. If they don't win the series, we start seeing the downcline of the Indians, because they're going to start losing some players to contracts.
They've already lost their mascot.
Yeah, they've already lost Chief Wahoo as they're going to the Red Sea. But the Indians win the division. And then in the East, I don't know how you picked Boston. How do you
not know how I picked Boston?
I can understand why you picked Boston, but for me, mainly because of one move, let's just be honest, Giancarlo Stanton coming over to New York. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton will help win not a playoff series, that's a totally different side of it. The Yankees are going to win more games this year than the Red Sox. They will win the division. However,
I can't agree with you.
Looking at the wild card side, Boston will be the wild card. They will be the home game for the wild card, and they will be hosting the Minnesota Twinkies. That's what I think. And the Twins could maybe win that game because they just can't beat the Yankees. The Yankees are just their kryptonite when it comes to them in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Houston, Indians, Yankees win the divisions. Boston hosts the Twins in the AL wildcard game. What about the NL? What are you going to start with, the East or the West? You going to start with the West again?
I'll go with the West again.
Okay.
I'll go with the West.
Keep it consistent. Why
I'll
not?
go with the West again. Again, I think, honestly, all three of these two of the three divisions I think are pretty home run locks for me. The West is the Dodgers. I think that's a pretty simple one, especially after hearing that Madison Bumgarner broke a finger the other day. Yeah, that's not encouraging. That's just not encouraging. So I got to go.
Did he take a line drive and deflected it? That's how he broke it?
Don't know. Yeah. But no, he broke it. And then in the Central, I'm going to say it's the Cubs. This is the division where I think that it's not so clear cut and dry.
This isn't your lock?
No.
Okay, good. Because if you said this was going to be a lock for the Cubs, I was going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It is not a lock for the Cubs, but I do think the Cubs are going to squeak it out in the last couple of weeks. They're going to do a pretty good job and be able to hold on to it. And then the East, I think this is easy. The Nationals. I think the Nationals, because if you look what they did with their bullpen at the end of last season, some of the acquisitions that they got, and then having them for this year, the entire season, Adam Eaton is going to be healthy again this year. You didn't even see Adam Eaton last season. He's a huge player at the plate and defensively. Look for him to be a really big difference maker for them. And then, of course, all their other playmakers that they have on that team. I think that's a lock for the Nationals. My wild card teams, the Arizona Diamondbacks, yet again, are going to be there, and the Milwaukee Brewers.
So wait, say your wild card one more time.
Arizona and Milwaukee.
Okay, Arizona and Milwaukee. We almost have a similar, let's be honest, we have a similar division. Giants win the West, Cubs win the Central, Nationals win the East. I don't think there's any change to who wins the divisions. I do differ with you on one of your wild card teams, though. I love the Brewers this year. I'm afraid of the Brewers this year. If there's any team to knock us off of our NL Central topple, that is the Milwaukee Brewers. However, the other team, I don't know, like Arizona will be in the hunt for a wild card. The Giants are interesting to me because if Bumgarner wasn't out until June, they're easily a wild card team for me, and it's not just because it's 2018. But I still kind of think that the Giants, depending on how they play without Bumgarner, like it's a pitcher. It only affects one game a week, basically, or one every 5 games. And they did get McCutchen this year. I'm torn between two teams for that last spot. The Giants, who I just said, and then the Cardinals. I think that this is, right now, because of the Bumgarner injury, though, I'm going to lean towards the Cardinals, and I think this will be a year we see 3 teams from the Central, where the Cardinals will be the odd man out of the division. Like, they're not going to compete for the division. They'll be kind of there, kind of like to screw up some games for the Brewers, screw up some games for the Cubs. Aha, we're playing devil's advocate to you guys. But I think it'll be Cubs win the division, Brewers come in second, they get to host the Cardinals for that wild card game, and that'll be a really big game. One team I want to ask you about, though, for this year, just to get your thoughts on them, Miami. Because they're a team making moves like crazy, selling stuff, getting things out the door. And I just heard on the radio this week that I guess Derek Jeter's got a big concert planned for opening day with DJ Khaled, who came up with their season song this year. The Marlins did finish second in their division last year. Do we have any high hopes for the Marlins, or is it like, no, they lost all their good players, they're going to be at the bottom of this thing?
I don't have high hopes for the Marlins. They lost too many big hitters. They lost too many good defenders. They just don't have enough pieces, in my mind, to be super competitive in a tough division. So I don't see it happening. Could we be shocked? And everyone at the end of the season goes, wow, Derek Jeter knew exactly what he was doing. I think there will be a day when we see that Derek Jeter did know exactly what he was doing in terms of shedding some contracts, getting rid of players that didn't want to be there. I'm all about that. But with that, you lost a lot of your talent. But hopefully you've gotten enough back where you're going to build up your farm system, and the Marlins will be competitive again in the next couple of years. Hopefully that's the hope. But right now this year I just don't see it for the Marlins here before we even start the season.
Well, let's move on. We're jumping ship a little bit. Let's go to our ALCS and NLCS. Who you got for both of those, and then who's winning and will play and win your World Series. Let's just do all the kit and caboodle right together. So starting with the CS, who's in it, who wins it, and then move on to your World Series.
So really quickly, how do you determine this? Who's playing who? I don't know.
You just pick. It's guesses at this point. It's whoever you think is going to come out of each. If you want to put some thought into like who you think is going to have the higher record and play each other in the playoffs, you can do that, or you can just say, you know what, screw it. This is my ALCS. I don't care how it happens. This is how it happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is confusing to me, but I it's too much thinking. I don't like that, but I'm gonna say the Yankees they beat Baltimore in the wild card, and I'm gonna say that the Yankees then go on to play the Astros.
So the Astros are gonna have the best record in the AL.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I think that's pretty.
So Yankees win the wild card. They move on to play the Astros.
Yankees win the wild card. They move on to play the Astros. Boston plays Cleveland. I think that the Astros will beat the Yankees, and then I think Boston will beat Cleveland. Astros play Boston. Astros win.
So for me, I'll just do the AL really quick. So you've got say one more time who you've got in your World Series. Houston. Okay. So I'm going to go on the other side of my wild card is going to be Boston and the Twins. I'm going to have the Twins with an upset win in Fenway because they're not playing the Yankees. They will move on and play the Indians, who I believe will win yet again, same as last year. They'll win by a game for the best record. So we get Twins, Indians in the first round. We get Houston, Yankees yet again. Houston is not going to win that one. The Yankees will beat Houston this year. They will move on. The Twins will upset the Indians. They will move on. Twins can't beat the Yankees. The Yankees move on to the World Series. The Twins cannot beat the Yankees in the playoffs. It is proven. Look back in history. Yankees move on to the World Series. How's your NL look in the playoff side? So you got Houston. I've got the Yankees in the AL. Who you got for the NL?
Well, for the NL, I've got Milwaukee beating Arizona in the wild card.
Is Milwaukee the home game in the wild card? Okay.
Yes. Milwaukee then goes on to play the Nationals.
Nationals going to have the best record in the NL.
Yes.
All right.
So Milwaukee goes on to play the Nationals. The Cubs will play the Dodgers, where the Dodgers will win.
You really want to break my heart in the DS. You really don't want to give me an NLCS break heart.
Why would I?
Or heartbreak.
Why would I let you get off the hook there? So the Dodgers will beat the Cubs. The Nationals will beat Milwaukee. The Nationals will move on to the World Series.
So you've got Nationals Houston?
Yes.
Wow. All right. So mine is going to be, I've got St. Louis and the Brewers. Brewers win at home. I'm sorry, St. Louis, I don't like you. Go away. No, I just think the Brewers are going to be a better team playing at home. They'll win that one game. They will play the Dodgers, who I think, again, will be the best team in the NL. They will give the Dodgers a run for their money. 5-game series. Almost said 7. 5-game series. Dodgers win in the end. They move on. Cubs, Nationals yet again. Cubs beat the Nationals yet again. We get another Cubs-Dodgers. Dodgers win. They go on to play the Yankees. And here's where we sit. I'm Yankees and the Dodgers. You are Houston versus the Nationals. Who you got and in how many games?
I'm going to take the Nationals in 6.
In 6? So how it would work would be it all goes on to who do you think's going to win the All-Star game?
The American League.
So the Houston will be the home team. So you think that it'll be 2 in Houston, then 2 in Washington. So you think they'll win at Game 6 in Washington?
Yes.
If I'm mapping it out correct. All right. I feel you. I'm going 6 as well. I'm going New York. New York is my World Series champion this year, only because the Dodgers, just like last year, are going to get there. I think Stanton is the guy bat-wise to bring that offense over the hump. I liked what the Yankees brought last year. They just got better to me. And this Dodger team, if you're going to beat my Cubs in the NLCS, I hope you lose in the World Series, because there's only one team I want coming out of the NL, and that is the Cubs. Although I think the Dodgers are going to be the best team in the NL this year. Really, whoever plays them in the NLCS, the Nationals, the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, they're my lock pick to go back to the World Series for the NL. They're just too good. They're too good. Yeah, they lose Yu Darvish, but really, they don't need Yu Darvish to go back to the World Series.
Better without him.
I think the AL is more up in the air, where, yeah, Houston and Cleveland are the top, but I think a Boston, a New York, a Minnesota have a better chance of knocking them off than any team has of knocking the Dodgers off in the NLCS. What do you think?
I don't agree with you. I don't think the Dodgers are so clear-cut as the best team. I think the Nationals are really good. I think the Nationals with their pitching staff, I think they're better. I think that if they, in their bullpen, they're a healthy bullpen the way that they have it this year.
Good thing is they don't have Dusty Baker, so that's positive. That's positive news for them.
Yeah, it is. And then the Nationals, again, if everyone is healthy, they have such a sick lineup. I think the Nationals are the best team in the National League, and that's why I think that they're going to win the World Series.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know who wins each division for you. You can do the same thing. Give us your playoff. Go through the entire thing. Bring us through your DS, your CS, your World Series. You've got the Nationals over Houston. I've got the Yankees over the Dodgers this year. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Want to thank you guys for watching, listening, and as always, have a good day, everybody.